Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Thursday. Hello everybody on Facebook. I'll go there just a second. Hello everybody on Zoom. I'm going to ask if Ashley can maybe do double duty and Letiza, Angela to bring over questions from Facebook. You do a wonderful job at that. Thank you. If you have questions, please by all means ask questions. And again, if you've got ideas, please share ideas because I really we want it to be a more dynamic site where we can do some exciting things. So today the brand ambassadors are going to be showing you some of the colors that they use. And with that, Giovanni, you start. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So today the session is about one of the four sets that comes in six half pan. No, and this is six colors. So the name of this set is Blue, Serene to Dramatic, and it contains six half pans. It's Sleeping Beauty, Cerulean Blue, Lunar Blue, Sodalite Genuine, indigo, and Payne Blue Gray. So I have watched all the texts in a cold press paper. So this is Sleeping Beauty, Turquoise, Genuine, and Sodalite are the famous Primatech colors. And Cerulean Blue is a single pigment, while Lunar Blue is a double pigment, and also Indigo and Pale Blue Gray. The four colors, so Sleeping Beauty, Cerulean, Lunar Blue, and Sodalite are granulating, while Indigo and Pale Blue Gray are not granulating. My favorite two colors today are Sleeping Beauty Turquoise and Sodalite Genuine because I paint with Primatech colors. So some years ago I did Giovanni and my son with the Primatech color. So this is Lapis Lazuli, Genuine Sodalite, and Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. Then when they have grown, they went together in the Bento Island, and they are working. This is a monochromatic painting done with sodalite, my one of the favorite colors. And then I came back on my memories when I work in Venice, and I did a gondola water on the Venice Canal on Canal. So this is mainly Sleeping Beauty, sodalite. This is a soft mix between Sodalite and Sleeping Beauty. And this is all Sodalite in various glazes. And that one is just a simple view, very, very quick from Harry Potter.
Seattle.
So this is my yes, thank you. And so Giovanni can start.
Okay. I can start and try to explain my selection. It's cerulean blue and indigo. These two color is most important for me for the I use it especially for the cloudy and rainy sky because it's a very beautiful shade, especially indigo. For example, this part for the dark part of cloudy, very dark side, and use the cerulean blue for the light part. And the mix together is very interesting for the sky, especially the cerulean blue before the indigo. The indigo in my painting usually sometimes substitution for the neutral tint because I love the dark tone, and after this showing one of my painting and use this combination for sometimes in substitution for black background when I painting the glass in still life. And another tips in when in the building shade in the sketching I'm using the cerulean blue for the shadows. So one of this combination and the dark indigo. The simple tips. Or in return, come back on the cloud when I use the dark stone of indigo. I use with the flat brush the cerulean blue for the light. This mode now is very bad paint, but only for explanation. Use this combination color. And curious, mix use these two colors for create a green with the queen gold. But it's very curious because, for example, I use the I have more zoom, so okay. I use the indigo and the cerulean blue explosion in indigo is very, very. Change my sequence, and this is not fast. It's very, very, very curious. And when apply the cerulean with a little point of green gold, create a light shade of green with indigo. And little point, create another dark green. And when I'm mixing, but I use the indigo before and cerulean after. 1 point of indigo, create this tone, but change my sequence. I have this point and change completely the mixing. I love this because it's very important to create a very shade. And now show one of my painting when I use the.
Bene, puoi zoomare un po'.
Oops. Zoom in this part.
Piano, piano.
Very various shade. And my last, I take one of my painting when I use the indigo and cerulean background. This is all indigo, and before I use the little part of cerulean, because when I painted the reflection, I love use the indigo, not black, but I use the mass tone of indigo. And in this part, I use the queen gold mix with indigo and create not a green because I have a very, very few part of queen gold with indigo. Thank you, John.
Oh, thank you, Giovanni.
Wow.
Thank you.
Next we have Julie.
Hi. That was gorgeous, Giovanni. Let's see. Can you hear me?
Yes, fine.
Okay.
Yes.
That was absolutely gorgeous. I love that.
Thank you, Julie.
It was masterful, very masterful. So I love the blues. I'm afraid my palette is empty except for the Sleeping Beauty. I've refilled that one. So I've got them in my other palette today. I have a palette with just the Primatex, which I love. I think it's so much fun to be able to paint with rocks. So I've got a piece of Sodalite here. Thank you, John.
Oh, so welcome.
And it's such a great color. I love the way it granulates. And if you look at the difference, I get the question very, very often, what's the difference between Payne's blue-gray which I'm going to be using, and Sodalite. And Sodalite is very granulating. I tend to clip a little test paper to my tubes so I can see exactly what it's doing. And they can be very similar in hue otherwise, but they react really different. If you have a lot of water, you get a lot of granulation, which I love. While with the Payne's blue gray, it's a flatter wash, but then you can do all sorts of fun things because it's a very reactive paint. So here I've got some salt. There I've just put some water in. You can do a lot of fun things. So one of the things I really enjoy too is when you play around with the paints, you can make them do all sorts of really interesting things because of the water and because of the granulation. So here I've got Sodalite. When I was just out in Seattle and enjoying the coast, we had an extremely low tide while I was there, which was really cool. But here in Sweden, we've got rocky coasts, not sandy coasts on the west coast here. And this is perfect. It's so nice to be able to use Sodalite or some of the other granulating paints and a little extra water and just see what happens. A lot of times when you paint, you want to leave your paints alone until they dry, but that's not true with the Primotex, especially the really granulating ones like Sodalite. See, the more I play with it, the more that happens. And I love playing. So there you can see a little bit of the Payne's blue gray. It's much flatter. It's still a great color. It's very lively for being a gray. I think it's one of my favorite grays. But the Sodalite is just magic too. So if I go in and just play a little bit here, I really like the fact that Payne's blue gray, it doesn't feel boring. It's not like some blacks. Sometimes I like it's like just a black hole. I don't feel like it's a lot of life with some of them. Some of them are extremely lively. But Payne's blue gray is just always really pleasant to work with. It's always got something that's happening with, depending on how much water you use. It has that gorgeous bluish tinge to it, which is so nice. And then another thing that's really nice with these is that you can go back in with more water and get more blooms, more granulation. I like to use one of the tubes, and the rocks that we have here in Sweden, they've got a lot of character, a lot of cracks and a lot of interesting things going on in them. And I love using the tube there because you can just etch in some of those fun cracks. And then also I really like using some of the Sodalite in my skies. Even though it granulates, I think it just gives it a really lovely structure. It's the texture of it is just really, really pretty. We've been having some rain today here in Sweden. Sun came out a little bit, but I was thinking this is perfect for that kind of a grayish, rainy feel. And then I think it's really nice, even though the colors are very, very similar, they feel very different when you get them on paper, just because they do different things. So if I put some Sodalite here next to my Payne's blue gray, can see how it's going to granulate.
The mini masterpiece. Look at that. It's beautiful.
Gotta be quick. And I love the way it gives you a lot of action on your water too. So even though it looks very monochromatic, it still has a lot of life just because of the differences between the two paints, I think. If you haven't tried Payne's blue-gray, do, because they're really worth trying. Okay.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Julie? Okay.
All right. Julie's
Hello.
has extra time. We'll move on to Sylvia now. Sylvia Trad.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello, John.
Hi, Sylvia.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I chose Sodalite Genuine and Cerulean Blue. I live in the tropics, so our skies are always cerulean. It's very good. It's very nice. But what I love about these two colors is their granulation. So I often use cerulean blue as a base in a background, and then Sodalite Genuine on top. Like here, to I think it's okay, right? To make like paint wood or stones. I really like this drama that Cerulean with Sodalite produces. So here, Sodalite again with a little bit of cerulean blue in the back. I love the drama, the gradation. I think it gives movement to the painting. Here I used cerulean blue, but I had a little bit of pyro red, so that's why it has this color. But the cerulean is beautiful in the skies because it's granulation to me. So now I'm gonna paint a piece of paper. This is a hot pressed paper. I'm just gonna show you how beautiful these two colors mixes, and their drama. It's very nice. So cerulean blue, but in a first layer, and then Sodalite. It's very beautiful, this mixing. Really like it. Really enjoy playing with these two colors. And we don't have time here. And see, the colors that appears here, I think it's really, really, really nice. Here I have the same paper, so you can see I added this sprinkles of water, and the result is this. So talking about texture in painting landscapes or wood or whatever you want with these two colors, you achieve beautiful texture. And that's it. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Sylvia.
Gorgeous. Yeah. I love it.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
So we
Thank
now
you.
gonna move on
Beautiful.
to Lo.
So these blues are beautiful. I have Sodalite and indigo. These two are really example of choose your palette based on pigment more so than color, because at face value they look very, very similar, but behaviorally they couldn't be more different. I think Sodalite is kind of best if you let it move with the water, where indigo, you can bring out these beautiful textures simply by letting it do its thing, kind of leaving it alone. So Sodalite and indigo. This piece is bringing out the ingredients in indigo. So I have indanthrone and lamp black. Indanthrone blue and lamp black are actually what make up indigo. So you can see it's somewhere in here in this mix. And if you wanted to play with the indigo and shift the chroma more to the blue and more to the black, you could certainly do that. And it's just beautiful. The Sodalite, one of my favorite things about it is that it's a 2-in-1, right? So in this little dish, I took my watercolor stick and I mixed it up pretty heavily and just let it sit. And I'm going to show you on my next piece of paper how to kind of draw this light color off the top and compare it to the dark. If you use it together, you get this beautiful combination, but I've actually been having fun pulling them apart from the dishes when I mix it. This is indigo with water thrown in. So we can come back to these, but I'm going to shift to a clean piece of paper and kind of show you some of these examples and how I've been using it. So first, just kind of looking at the behavior on that previous piece of paper, you may have noticed that the circles, I've been having some fun lately, sort of just watching how heavy or how light a pigment might behave. And so the Sodalite, for example, it's going to stay where you put it. The particles are pretty heavy and it just likes to stay, which is something that you can really take advantage with. I'll show you a second in some florals, how I'm going to use this for some centers. Whereas the indigo wants to take up its space. So you can kind of see how it wants to move across the page a little bit more readily than the large particles in this Sodalite and take up the room. So in terms of pulling this Sodalite apart, again, I had my little dish. I let my stuff mix up pretty heavily. Then I just let this sit for quite a long time. And if my hand is steady enough, you can pick up this beautiful light blue off the top. It's just really, really pretty. And then if I were to, go sort of into the underside of it, I get the dark, right? And of course, if I mix the Sodalite and add some water, that's when you can really see both those dark particles as well as that beautiful blue kind of undertone come out. So I actually made these little florals by picking out that really pretty light blue from this Sodalite. It was actually a really fun exercise in patience. So just a really pretty little 2-part mix that you can take advantage of. And then I still have a few minutes, so let me show you how I would use the indigo to make sort of a floral with these heavy Sodalite centers. So we're just going to make some little 3-petal flowers. I always like to lift a little bit from the center and drive the color to the edges. Then I'll come back in and fill with the Sodalite. So in the examples, I can come back to those at the end too. I had water and rocks and florals. I even mixed a little bit of a Sodalite with a walnut ink, true to form. Just putting down my indigo, driving all that beautiful blue to the edges and lightening up the inside of the petals.
So Lowell, would you say that you're kind of lifting the black part of the pigment to reveal the light underneath?
So with the indigo, I'm really just driving the pigment to the edge and
Nice.
lifting from the center. It's just a look that I really love, where you get these nice edges with the lighter petals.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, and then I'm going to come back in with the Sodalite, the one that I've mixed up, right? Not the one where I've let my light blue float to the top. I'll come back to my Sodalite, and I'm going to take advantage of the heaviness of the Sodalite to make these really nice little pretty centers in my flowers. And then I can do a little vine to connect them. I love these little dagger brushes just for a nice loose kind of calligraphy like marks.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, thanks. And yeah, again, just to kind of revisit I had a tiny brush somewhere to revisit that light blue. So this one is indigo, and these two were Sodalite. Very same. Took my stick, activated it. This is just my little pair of tweezers. When I want to pull the paper off of my stick, I use these guys. But this one I've kept stirred up, and this one I just let it sit maybe for like the last half an hour, and you can see that light blue rises to the top, and it's just so pretty. I can drop in some details, that little light blue component of the Sodalite. I'm a super patient person, so I loved doing this yesterday. I'm like, if I wait long enough and have a steady hand, I can get two colors out of this one mix, right? So anyway, and just to kind of show you an example too, I think we have a little bit more time. I was playing with water using that same trick. So maybe if you wanted to do, a piece of I live by the river. The river here is a really big deal. So a little bit of water to put down. And I'm going to take some of my indigo. And again, the longer I let this indigo just sit, magic things are just going to happen. You'll get all these beautiful textures with it. I'll come back to my Sodalite mix that I let sit to have that light blue rise to the top. I have some left still. And I can add some light blue to my water. And then come back and do some of the dark blue splashes. And so, yeah, if you just let that kind of sit and mix and do its thing, as it dries, the indigo and the water will interact. You can get this beautiful sort of flowing motion with a lot of the pieces. I did some rocks, a little rock stack with the Sodalite indigo and the light component of the Sodalite and the walnut ink, because if I have a good granulating pigment, I can't help but just try it. So thank you very much for letting me present.
Thank you, Lo. Moving on to Buffy.
Hey guys.
Hello,
I
Buffy.
chose indigo and lunar blue, and I thought that they really balanced each other, with the lunar blue being incredibly dynamic with so much movement and energy, and then the indigo being more of a balanced color. So here's the indigo straight out of the tube with a lot of water, and it actually created texture, and the lunar blue with a lot of water, and then the two mixed on the paper. And then here I mixed them in a ramekin and played out, and you could get that real stilly blue color similar to what Lowell was sharing. Beautiful dynamic colors. I thought that it was interesting too that they both have black in them. So the lunar blue has the lunar black, and then the the indigo has the Indanthrone blue lamp black. So they're black and blues, right? But I wanted to do an exaggeration of how impactful color can be. I have this amazing summer sunset. I'm going to exaggerate the sun for effect, and I'm going to make it winter. So I'm going to get this hot press paper wet, right up and around, and then I'll go in with the lunar blue. And I'm just going to smoke it out to let it maybe make some cloud for me. And then go right in with the pure and very thick indigo.
What was that you were using to keep the sun out?
It was a little lid. I don't know where it originally came from. Little lid, and I just saved it for this very reason. Repurposing things, right?
Great tip. Thanks.
Yeah. I have a whole drawer of lids of things that I play with from time to time. I'm just trying to create the idea of, and then I'll also put some where it's going to mix right into the background. And the mountains where I live have all kinds of trees. So we have, oak and manzanita and all the different kinds of pine. And we'll go and I'll smoke that one out and put in, mind you, this is very abstract, but abstract to me is one of the funnest ways to explore color because you get to see all these crazy things it does. And now I'm going to go in with the lunar blue and put in some bigger trees or suggestions of it. Go back into some of this deep color, the deep indigo. Both Giovanni and I think Lo also talked about how certain paints don't move as much and others really spread out. The thicker you put your paint, so this is a very thick mix and this is very watery, that's going to have an effect too on whether it spreads out or stays. And then I'm just going to finish with a little bit of this color, which is the two mixed. And I'm just going to spit that in. Sounds like a horrible idea, but let's spit them in just to get even more fun.
Kathy on Facebook is enjoying our demo time from a line at Costco. So she says, thank you for giving her something to do.
That's pretty cool. All right, one last thing I'm gonna, it looks kind of a mess now, but hopefully at the end we can share because I'd really love to see Sylvia's working on too. I'm putting a little bit of granulating medium on it just to encourage what it does. And what that's going to do by spraying the medium on is it's going to pull those black pigments. Right here, there's a little bit of magic happening and kind of affect the way that the particles float and set on the paper. Should I send it all down? Yes. And we're going to see how these colors went from a sunny sunset photo into winter wonderland. And then when this dries, I can decide if it needs to be representational or not. For instance, one more thing, I can put a little bit of water in the parts that are too loud, and that'll soften it and increase the flow even more.
Buffy, do you dilute the granulating
Yes.
granulation formula? Yeah.
Yeah, probably about 80% granulation medium and 20% water.
Thank
And
you.
that just extends the, how long it lasts. There's that phthalo blue coming from the lunar black right there. See that? These colors really do have secrets. They really do. They have secrets, and the more you swatch, and abstracts again are just a great way to make those color discoveries. I mean, look at, isn't
Can't
it?
hear me? Can you hear me, Chris?
We can hear you.
Someone's mic is on.
All right, it's just my phone.
Okay, we're muted. Sorry about that.
If you want to go to the next, Ethel, then I could show
Yeah,
at the end.
sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna have Angela. Let's show Angela's front-facing cam first so that she could say hi.
Hello, Angela.
Hi. Hi. I've been working on two papers simultaneously and just playing with color. And I will start with this. I didn't finish it, even though I was very, very carried away, because to me, it is, I use Lunar Blue a lot, and I use Sodalite not so much, but I'm starting to use it more because of the intense granulation and the intense division that it flocculation or whatever you call it. To me, it reminds me very much of, I saw photos the other day of like, what is it? In Iceland, they have these rivers of ice, and this is like ice water, or these, it's running, and these are the volcanic rocks. For me, that represents it very well. So I want to continue with that. I hope the paper is still wet. I've wetted it a couple of times. But I like to use Lunar Blue, mixing a bit of white. So I don't know if you can see it here, but in my palette, my little palette here, there is some white too. So I mix the white with the Lunar Blue, and now it's a bit dry, but the top part, but I will re-wet it. And sometimes I use it on its own. And it helps me to create this running effect. Lunar Blue really behaves as you said before, you've explained before, some brand ambassadors, behaves totally different from Sodalite. Sodalite is much heavier and it doesn't move. Whereas Lunar Blue, especially on this paper, this is, know that I like to use this hot press paper. It moves a lot. So I get this effect that I like, of the water running, the icy water running. And you see how it moves. And it goes into Sodalite. So I need some more Sodalite here. That's what I will do. Apply some Sodalite. It looks very dark, but once it starts moving, then it is not dark at all. On the brush, there is still some Lunar Blue. I will move it, and you'll see the lovely effects. It's the effect of the water, the paint and the water. This is really a river. Can you see the river here?
Magical.
Yeah. It's just these wonderful paints that John has created for us. We have this fantastic effect. Oh, let me get some paper here. Yeah. So I want this side to granulate. Now maybe I should spray it a little. Not so much. And it helps. You see, everything is happening on its own. I just help it. And where I feel there is not enough paint, I just add some more sodalite here to help the volcanic rocks appear more.
That's neat, Angela. It looks three-dimensional from here viewing it.
Doesn't it? Yeah. I got really inspired by this landscape of Iceland, and so that's what was on my mind, and so this, if I can leave it inclined, it will do its own thing. I'll try to leave it because I wanted to show you at least briefly what I've done with another paper. You know that this is hot pressed, but I wanted to see what happened if I used rough paper. So I've used the same colors in rough paper. So here you go. Well, the same colors, but adding some red and opera pink. So what happens? You see, let me move this out of the way and keep the inclination. So here, again, we get the granulation, not so much, or different granulation, maybe smaller granulation. The paper has got a bit dry, so I will wet it again. And here is actually a lunar blue. I will apply some more lunar blue. What does this combination work? I ask myself, because sometimes I want this combination, especially with primary colors. And on the other palette, or where do I have it? I have some yellow. And so I will have the three primaries, blue, red, and yellow. Forgive me if it's too strong, but look at that. I want it to mix with I want the yellow to mix with the sodalite. Now I will finish the sodalite and the blue on top. Okay, that's it. This is Hansa yellow medium. It's a strong yellow. I will keep applying more sodalite and more lunar blue to to mute a bit this yellow, this strong yellow. So here you can also see the Arctic sun. Okay, and this is what I had to show. Here, let's see again the development of the glacier rivers. And thank you for letting me share. Thank you, John.
Very nice, Angela.
Thank you.
Those papers certainly show different aspect of it.
Yeah.
Hello, Besnick.
Hello, John. Hello, everyone. Beautiful mixes, everyone. Thanks for sharing. So today I have these two beautiful colors, Lunar Blue and Sleeping Beauty Turquoise. Sleeping Beauty Turquoise is also in my dot card. I loved it from the beginning. It's very beautiful turquoise color. It's on its own, just one pure pigment. Lunar Blue, as you already know, it has two pigments mixed. So yeah, you see the tubes already gone. I really love these two colors. First, I will do just a normal swatch, and tonight I will try to make a tulip theme by mixing these two beautiful, amazing colors. So it's also in this amazing palette that we are showing this last 2 weeks. So I'm wetting this part of the paper. I'm using always Bao Hong, not the rough, but the medium rough. On top, I'm thinking to add a little bit of Sleeping Beauty. Just playing by. I'm not going to talk a lot about these two colors because there were many of you explaining the beautiful effects that they do. Lunar blue is also amazing color on its own. You can do a whole painting with it. It's beautiful granulation, and everyone can use it as a monochromatic. So by using the gravity, you can get the granulation beautifully, but since we are short on time, I will leave it to react on its own. And on this part, a bigger part of the paper, I will play with, with a larger quantity of these two colors, and with this brush to do tulip. First, I will play with the Sleeping Beauty. I will add more water.
Oh, one of your tulips.
Yes, I said it. I'm going to do tonight the tulip. I think it will react very beautiful, these two colors, and I will add just another color as a contrast. I chosen Wisteria. I think it will go beautiful with these two. How it reacts.
Besnik, which paper are you using?
Bao Hong, medium rough, not the rough one. I only use this paper lately. I really love it.
Awesome. Thank you.
A bit more contrast in here. Beautiful granulation, and we'll play with the little bit of Wisteria. Sit for
trying to grow from would-be predator.
I hope those are the good news someone is listening to.
End of a stick that's stuck between rows of plants, or maybe
Another mic is on. Sorry about that.
I
I
will
always
just
love
play.
tulips with Nick.
I didn't get that. Sorry, I didn't get what you said.
I said I always love your tulips, and they are also different because you use
Thank you.
different colors, and it changes totally.
Thank you. It's one of my apps things that I do, and I really love this. So I love this mix. I don't know how is visible in the camera, but it's beautiful granulation
Yes.
in here as well, and only by itself, Sleeping Beauty turquoise, it's fabulous, gorgeous color. Leave it dry, and in this part I will do another thing just to mix as a swatch. So in this part I can even add a boat or something like that. It reminds me of some seascape. Look at the beautiful granulation that it gives, only lunar blue by its own. By painting wet on wet. Here I painted wet on dry. Both colors are very beautiful. I will share this in our chat room. Thank you so much for letting me show these possibilities by mixing these two beauties. I always say it, all of the colors are so beautiful, so any color that we choose, it's a masterpiece by itself. Thank you so much, John, Catherine, and everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Still have a few minutes left, John, about 6 minutes. So we're gonna show everybody's other, and maybe we want to ask our community, John, if anyone has been following our swatching session today or any artwork about blues to share.
Certainly.
Let's see from
Oh,
the
it's
screen.
also just two colors. I like the granulation on Buffy's and Angela's. It's really nice. And then Besnick's is always really wonderful. And those spheres are great, Giovanni.
Thank you.
Yes. And Lowell's. You guys are great.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Anna has a
Sorry, when you're on
piece.
mute. I'm just following and painting along with everybody.
Oh, I like that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
There.
Beautiful.
So,
Oh, wow.
so there's out of everybody a little bit all combined.
Anna, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying. Yeah, here following. It was beautiful. Thank you for all the blues, everybody. So
Very
pretty.
nice. What else? Okay. Well, thank you for all for taking part. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Besnick, Sylvia, Lowell, Buffy,
Thank you.
Anna,
Thank you.
Angela, Giovanni. Thank you all for taking part. Thank you for all watching.
Thank you so much, John.
Thank you all.
you're
Thank you, John.
welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, everyone.
Hope
Thank
you-
you.
Hope you can
See
join
you
tomorrow.
Yes.
Yes.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you
See
so
you
much.
tomorrow.
Good seeing all